Well, history could be created in the BVI this week with more than 2,000 persons projected to be vaccinated, the most since vaccinations commenced.
The government of the Virgin Islands has approved over $1 million for consultancy for ministerial political advisors. Tender process also has been waived.
The government allocates approximately $600,000 for demolition works to the Ralph T. O'Neill Administration Complex.
And the national pride continues to fly high as Virgin Islands represented at the Tokyo Olympics. We have all the details of this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Well, welcome back, everyone. It's Friday, July 23rd, 2021. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. It is always a pleasure. We have made it to the end of another week. We want to wish you a happy Friday to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get into our newscast, we just want to shout out our amazing Olympic team that is presently in Tokyo representing the British Virgin Islands. Of course, national pride flew very high, as you can see on the screen, as the team represented the territory of the Virgin Islands, not only by the flag, but the wearing of the territorial ensemble, which was very beautifully presented. Kamal, these young people continue to make us proud, and it is such a beautiful sight, viewers, as you can see, as they continue to make us proud and represent us to the best of their ability. So best of luck to each and every one of them who are going to be competing.
Indeed, very much so. Let me start the news with leading with the recent trend in vaccinations, with a reversal trend of more persons seeking vaccination this week in the British Virgin Islands could for the first time lead to more than 2,000 persons being vaccinated, the first in 1 week in the territory. Premier Andrew Foy made a statement during a recently broadcasted Virgin Islands Party Let's Talk radio program. Well, he said the recent trend in vaccinations has been promising, and if continued, could soon result in the territory achieving its goal of herd immunity. Take a listen.
There's something encouraging that I've seen too with the vaccination uptake in the last few days of over 1,300 and change persons being vaccinated in just 4 days. And that is only at one site, might I add. So the rate that we're going right now, we have a chance to see for the first time over 2,000 persons vaccinated before a week is up. And that's encouraging, because if we continue that rate, then we will be able to have our people fully vaccinated and have even to a high ratio of 70, 75 to 80% of our population vaccinated. That is key for our economy, is key for our lives, is key for our safety. And I wanted to encourage persons to vaccinate.
Our Premier Foy also reiterated that taking the vaccine is still not a mandatory policy in the BVI, but said the recent surge in deaths should act as a reminder as to why it's important to get vaccinated.
A choice, yes. Everyone has freedom of choice. This government has not made vaccination mandatory, but it's clear that we strongly advocate that you do. And when you look and see loved ones that you have known all your life pass away, that should be enough for you to honor their memory and legacy by coming forward and say, all right, let me don't be another statistic. Let me go and make sure that I vaccinate. And what I want the persons to know is that we have a small knit community, and every time someone dies, we all know them, or we know someone around them. So it's very difficult time in our territory. But we have all that we need to stem the tide by making sure that we do vaccinate. As I say, you're free to make whatever choice you need to make, but you're not free from the consequences. And as the leaders of this territory, we do not want to be here and not saying to persons that we see this as your best option. And might I add, we have not just started to say this. We've been saying it for months, but whatever gets you now to do it, that is key.
Meanwhile, the Health Minister Carvin Malone said the introduction of the new Delta variant has resulted in local health professionals increasing the total percentage needed for herd immunity from the previously announced 70% to now 80%. But Minister Malone is confident in achieving this goal with more than 10,000 persons already fully vaccinated, plus more than 5,000 persons who are awaiting their second jab. He said once the government commences the joint initiative with the United States Virgin Islands to get persons vaccinated with the Moderna or the Pfizer vaccines, that number will be available.
But we started with a population base. We were going this internationally. They've all deducted that we have about 30,000. So we can go with the 30,000. And of the particular 30,000, we needed to get to 70 at one point, 70%, 21,000. With this Delta variant, that of which we speak, the epidemiologist, the chief medical officer have all said, guys, we need to get up to 80%, 24,000. We will be able to do this when we introduce the number of youngsters, 17 to 14, if they're able to go to St. Thomas, for instance, and get the particular Moderna that has been approved for actually children, young adults. I think it's from 14 to 17 or 13 to 17, I'm not sure. I have to get that particular amount. We'll be able to get that from those persons who are convinced that the Pfizer and Moderna are the ones that they must be administered. We'll be able to get that from the persons who have already gone overseas and they have been administered, but they're not in our system. So our nurse, Badu, is keen to get you registered, and we will provide a mechanism by which you can give your details so that you can be properly registered in our system. So we have a proper reflection of the total doses administered from wherever the sources may be.
Well, as you heard it, viewers, from the health minister, basically stating that with the current trend in vaccination this week, the BVI could possibly achieve that herd immunity, Ron. Great news.
We're happy to hear that coming out from the minister, and we continue to support the government's initiative in this regard. Continuing on some very positive news of viewers on the local scene, BVI Post has announced the launch of a new commemorative stamp collection featuring, of course, the territory's athletes. They are Chantal Malone, Kyron McMaster, Eldred Henry, and Alina Phillip. Now, this collection was launched today and is said to be significant, and it is the first 4 athletes who have qualified for any Olympic Games. Now, each stamp selected in this collection was chosen as it depicts the respective athletes receiving top medal achievements and applauds the athletes on reaching this milestone in their athletic careers. Now, the 5-cent stamp depicts Alina Phillip at the Youth Olympic Games. Buenos Aires 2018 was the only Caribbean swimmer who advanced from the heats and ranked 15th out of 55 swimmers overall. Alina is the Virgin Islands' first swimmer to compete at the Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, Central American and Caribbean CAC Games, and the FINA World Championships, now FINA World Cup, as well as the Youth Olympic Games. The 20-cent stamp depicts Eldred Henry at the 23rd Central American and Caribbean CAC Games in Barranquilla, Colombia, 2018. He won a bronze medal in the shot put with a throw of 20.11 meters, which was also a new national record. Additionally, he was the first of the VI's athletes to win a medal at the Barranquilla 2018. Mr. Kyron McMaster, the $1 stamp depicts the one and only Kyron McMaster at the 23rd Central American and Caribbean CAC Games in Barranquilla, Colombia 2018, where he set a new CAC Games record when he won the gold in the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 47.60 seconds. To date, this is the BVI's 5th gold medal won at the 5 consecutive CAC Games. And of course, Miss Chantal Malone. The $5 stamp depicts Chantal Malone at the Lima 2019 Pan American Games, where she made history by winning the Virgin Islands' first Pan American Games medal when she leaped a distance of 6.68 meters in the long jump to take the gold medal. Now, the commemorative collection of stamps and a special first day cover will be on sale for 12 months at all postal locations and will remain on sale at the Bureau for an additional 6 months. Now, the prices range from 5 cents to $6.75. The BVI Post stands in support of all the athletes participating in the 2020 Olympic Games, held of course in Tokyo, and wish them great success in their respective events. Kamal, I must admit that this is truly one of the most beautiful ways to show appreciation to the BVI athletes who have continued to represent the territory of the Virgin Islands throughout their athletic careers. I applaud not only the government of the Virgin Islands, but particularly the BVI Post Office for seeing it fit to honor each of these young professionals in this regard. I'm truly honored to see them be represented and to be given their flowers while they're still around.
Totally agree. And obviously, as the games continue now, well, they commenced this morning with the opening ceremony. You know, obviously, persons can be proud to go to the post office and purchase these very important stamps.
Indeed.
Well, still ahead, viewers, government approves over $1 million for consultancy of ministerial political advisors with the waived tender process. All this and much more after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Viewers, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now, continuing on the local scene, in a recent cabinet decision dated July 5th and 8th, the Cabinet of the Virgin Islands has considered and approved, along with waiving the tender process for government ministers, including junior ministers, a political advisor at a cap of $120,000 per annum. Now, the Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Andrew Foy, will have up to 3 political advisors, while all additional 4 cabinet members and 2 junior ministers will each have 1 political advisor of their choice. This comes to, again, a total of over $1 million per annum for government's political advisors. Now, this announcement comes at a very crucial time in the territory when the Virgin Islands is experiencing great economic hardships, with many national projects placed on hold or for various reasons. For example, of course, suitable educational infrastructure at the Elmore Stout High School. Now, the Cabinet decision, Article number 3, states, and I quote, "The Cabinet considered and approved the consultation of ministerial political advisor similar to the model as used in the United Kingdom, where the Premier would be assigned no more than 3 ministerial political advisors, and each other cabinet minister and junior minister would be assigned no more than 1 ministerial political advisor. Reviewed and decided on the terms of reference for the ministerial political advisors to include research and analysis, assisting in speech writing for the minister, and other areas as outlined in the job description. Decided, Cabinet, of course, that the tenure of each ministerial political advisor who will be hired as an independent contractor to be the same as the tenure of the minister to whom they are assigned. Each ministerial political advisor be subject to all public service laws, regulations, and political policies during their tenure, save and expect where research, advice, and other support to the minister may incorporate political considerations into their analysis, advice, speech writing, and so forth, now in a manner that would be not permissible for a permanent public officer. Ministerial political advisors would be required to adhere to the Code of Conduct for ministerial political advisors. In addition, consider and decide that an integrity committee for ministerial political advisors shall be set up, comprising the permanent secretary, Premier's office's chair, permanent secretary, deputy governor's office, and 1 of the 4 other permanent secretaries in rotation each year. Ministerial political advisors would be required to declare any private interest that they may hold in any matter that may be deemed irrelevant to their work, upon assumption of duties and periodically as circumstances may require. And of course, they are required to disclose shall be made by letter to the appointing minister and copy to the permanent secretary in the Premier's office as chair of the Integrity Committee for Ministerial Political Advisors and to the Premier. The Integrity Committee for Ministerial Political Advisors would have the authority, they say, to call and question ministerial political advisors on their adherence to the Code of Conduct for ministerial political advisors on matters of conflict of interest, and the committee may submit a report to the Premier's office for his consideration and consider and decide the contract will not exceed $120,000 per annum in accordance with the established pay bands. Each contract for each ministerial political advisor does not cover gratuity payments, annual leave, and sick leave. Each ministry will allocate payment of the resumption for ministerial political advisor upon the consultation vote, and payments for the ministerial political advisor to junior ministers will be borne from the constitutional vote of the Premier's office, and also considered and approve the waiver of the tender process to allow ministerial political advisors to be contracted for any tenure that allows for cumulative compensation to be more than no more than $120,000. Kamal, very interesting news coming out of the cabinet decisions. Of course, once this story was broke, many persons came to the forefront asking a number of questions. What is the purpose of permanent secretaries if you're going to have political advisors of such? In addition to that, many persons questioned the timing as the territory is going through an extremely difficult period. Nevertheless, we see where the government of the Virgin Islands has continued with this consideration. However, we see 2nd District Representative, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, really weighing in on the situation, and in an invited comment, he said to us, this decision was made by Cabinet and did not have the consultation of members of the House of Assembly. He said, I, Melvin Mitch Turnbull, had no part to play in this. We have to do better. Those were the words of the 2nd District Representative and member of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition, the Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, in regards to the government's move to hire independent political advisors at a very, very crucial time in our history. In addition to that, the fact that the government, the sitting government, has moved forward quite speedily in their tenure. So it's almost 2 to 3 years into the election process. So it's interesting that they would do that at such a late period versus early on in their initial tenure.
Very interesting developments indeed. Obviously, the 2nd District Representative, what a voice his concerns, yes, as you stated rightfully. Obviously, a very interesting time to make such a decision, and to make such a decision without bringing it to the House of Assembly, one that I believe weighs so important. That was a very important decision, one that, of course, obviously affects the taxpayers. So that was a very, very interesting development. Still coming in terms of news from that same cabinet meeting, where nearly $600,000 have been approved by the government of the Virgin Islands to complete demolition works to the Ralph T. O'Neill Administration Complex. But this was revealed in the decision by the latest cabinet decision statement, which stated that cabinet met on July 8th and approved a number of allocations for rehabilitation works to the administration complex. Well, according to the information provided, the government has so far conducted the demolition and disposal of waste material from the west wing of the administration complex at a value of $107,185.39. However, another $492,119.88 worth of demolition is needed to demolish and to complete the removal of waste from other areas of the complex at a total value of $599,305.27. But these additional works include the same West Wing area where more work has to be conducted at a sum of $51,023.50, and the East Wing of the building at a sum of $195,036.44. Additionally, Cabinet also decided that outstanding demolition works of office spaces, corridors, and ceilings in the administration complex, which is exclusive of the basement, which requires professional services, be executed using the procurement procedures which are provided for under the Policy on Procurement in Emergency, Disaster, Pandemic, and Catastrophic Situations. In simple terms, these works will be conducted under petty contracts or work orders only at a sum of $246,059.94. The cabinet said this approach will assist in keeping the local economy stimulated.
I'm definitely happy to see the work at the R.T. O'Neill Administration Complex continuing. Viewers, up next, fear tactic measures and ultimatums from the government and healthcare officials could be deterring some persons from getting vaccinated. We have the details of this and so much other news after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, viewers, welcome back. With the methods of fear tactics and ultimatums by the government and other healthcare professionals to get more persons vaccinated may be behind some of the reasons why a number of persons are hesitant to get their jab. But this was the sentiment shared by Cameron Peters, who was a guest on the Let's Talk COVID-19 Vaccination Live Forum program with host Carrier Christopher on Thursday evening. But Peters, who declared that he was not an anti-vaxxer, said the present approach being used by some officials in the BVI and also worldwide has negatively impacted some individuals, further deterring them from wanting to take the vaccine. Take a listen.
From what we can see and from doing panel discussions like this one, a lot of the people in my generation, if I could say that, we are big learners. We look to absorb as much information as possible, and especially living in the time we're living now. As Andy pointed out, we could Google, we could YouTube, we could do whatever we want, right? We have so much access to knowledge. Obviously, we're also susceptible to a number of false information, but one of the things is having the officials and the people who have a task to look after us in whatever aspect that may be, whether it's the doctors, whether it's government officials, whatever, law enforcement, is that they try to teach as opposed to using fear tactics, as opposed to trying to scare us into this not happening, as opposed to taking away perks or travel restrictions, threatening that we can't work if we don't take the vaccine.
We don't like that. Y'all don't like that.
The thing is, it's their livelihood. And a number of people who I've spoke to, as well as other people who I've heard of, because I'm in contact with a lot of my friends abroad, both from here and new friends in America, Canada, UK, Australia. But the thing is that you threaten their livelihood. What options are they going to have? They're going to be like, screw it. You know what? I'm going to take it anyway, get it over with, and just carry on. And a lot of people coming from that aspect, because people are using that as an avenue to force us to take the vaccine, they're becoming angry at it. They're saying, you know what? I don't think so. I'm going to back off. I'm going to just say, you could carry on, whatever. I'm going to just wait it out. This will be over. And they start to join a group of people who are more extremists. And
Our viewers, that was Cameron Peters. While he also suggested for the relevant authorities to adjust their approach using more educational techniques and being honest and forthcoming with the relevant information.
One of the things is, I just want to let people know is, I'm not, first off, like anti-vax or anti-coronavirus vaccine, but give me the right knowledge, the right information. If you make a mistake, say so. And then we can talk about, okay, so what's the right course of action? And then we can move on from there.
You literally just gave me goosebumps, because I don't believe that anyone, at least in my presence, have articulated that so clearly. This generation, I'm hoping that the government is hearing this. I am confident that they're looking. They don't want to be put in a box. They don't want to be put in an ultimatum. And so what you're saying, Cameron, is when you tell us that we should take this vaccine or else we don't work, or take this vaccine or else we can't travel easily, it's more resistant. So the conversation needs to be happening. And something that you said that really, really gave me some insight is that you want the folks that are in charge to acknowledge when a mistake is made. And that is, you know, mind-blowing that we never even had that discussion to say, let's just, and this is not, I want to make sure I say, this is not any blame game. This is a worldwide thing. Acknowledge when the mistake is making. We are very well-bred young people, and we know when there's an issue. Be clear and be fair and say this happened and that perhaps wasn't the plan, and let's move forward.
Meanwhile, another guest on the show, Andy Antonio Jeffers, also shared his experience, revealing what led to him taking the vaccine after initially having major concerns. Well, he also revealed that he had tested positive for the virus shortly after and was blown away by the stigma attached after he publicly made persons aware of his situation so they could have done the right thing and get tested.
For me, I was a bit hesitant at first in taking the vaccine because I didn't feel like I had enough information on the vaccine. But in the back of my head, it was not just about me. I had to think about everybody around me. And I moved in with my mother since the lockdown started in 2020. So I had to think about my mother as well. And for me, I took the vaccine because I just thought that I don't know what would happen to me if I caught the virus. And that was so ironic because a week after I took the second dose of the vaccine, I caught COVID. And I'm a very social person. So I was like at every party, I was at graduation, I was sailing. And I felt like, oh my God, I have COVID. I don't know where I got it from. And I took the responsibility upon myself, and I know I would have been chastised by posting it on social media to let everybody know that I got COVID and you need to get yourself tested just in case you are around me. And to be totally honest, I had a lot of negative feedback about posting about having COVID. There were persons saying that I am going to be the cause of festival not happening in the BVI, or I should not have posted it because there was instance someone called me and told me, you should take down the post because I was around you. And because I was around you, people are calling me and telling me that I need to go test tested for COVID. And I felt like, oh my God, so you want to stay hidden and not let anyone know, and you don't want to go and test yourself because you just want to go about your life without thinking about affecting other persons around you. So for me,
Well, there you heard it, viewers. We heard from our youth basically explaining to the public, you know, their feelings as it pertains to the whole notion of being vaccinated. And then we also heard the unfortunate situation from another local, basically of him being tested with the virus, positive for the COVID-19, and then obviously a stigma attached to it where persons were, you know, basically asking him to take down his post and basically to remain quiet. Ron? Very interesting.
Kamal, I must say that I am so thankful and happy to see fellow young men coming to the forefront and engaging in these conversations. Not only are they young, but again, they are young men. And I think it is imperative that as young professionals, we continue to lend our voices to these matters that are affecting the territory of the Virgin Islands, as both of them so eloquently put their various experiences. I think this is what's important when it comes to the narrative and the conversations, not only in COVID, but anything that may affect our territory. And of course, we wish them the very, very best as they continue to stay safe. But I loved the conversation, and I wish that we could continue to have more conversations like this, where the youth are the center and the forefront, really bringing the issues to the territory.
And I also think that in terms of the message that was really delivered last night during that very informative session, was to the healthcare professionals. Yes. You know, we had Dr. Pickering, we had Dr. Penn, you know, we had very prestigious persons in the community. Of course, Dr. Vanderpool as well. And Dr. Vanderpool as well, obviously. And they would have expressed to the even to the viewers that, you know, they welcomed that information because they never really looked at the whole matter from that perspective. Yes. So that was very important indeed.
Wonderful. Viewers, we are out of time, but we thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. I'm Ron Grant. See you later.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. Thank you for joining us.